One of the areas that I research and that we look at in the cybersecurity department is the area of privacy and how privacy can impact our national security. So let's take a little tour on something that's in the current media cycle that you've probably heard on and read on, but you haven't went past the headlines. And that's what we like to do here is peel that back and get past the headlines to the real crux of the challenges facing our nation. I want you to think back to 2001 with the World Trade Center and how that event opened the American citizens' eyes to terrorism. And not just terrorism and terrorists, but their activities and how they did their business. We heard just a few years later from our leaders and law enforcement of how our adversaries were becoming very tech savvy and were able to use encrypted applications and capabilities of the internet to go dark. Everyone was going dark, and our ability to track and monitor our adversaries in cyberspace, we were losing a grip on that capability. Here in America, we had the San Bernardino murderers who shot up and killed some American citizens, and you may remember that their Apple iPhone became the center of a storm of encryption versus privacy. Today, globally, this discussion is happening in all governments, and everything is on the table. Everything from the encrypted apps that you may use, like WhatsApp and Signal, to your personal VPNs, are all on the table for discussion. And what's being done is just as wide-ranging. Everything from a do-nothing approach to outright bans, where citizens in countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, even Australia is looking at some bans on your ability to have and possess encrypted applications. What we do here in our college is we try to look at the challenges and find a balance. What is the right balance between your liberties as American citizens and your ability to communicate secretly and confidentially, and the nation's need to provide us security? Some have said that we should ban encrypted applications or provide backdoors to these applications and require the makers to do so. But we have to understand that this dichotomy between encryption and liberty has been going on for thousands of years. Encryption is nothing new, and neither is this challenge. We have to remember that encryption is nothing more than an algorithm, a mathematical algorithm that's been around for thousands of years, and we're not really going to ban math. So we have to find a way to address this problem. And I would tell you, and we'll discover in our class, that the challenge for our national security is bigger than encryption. The real challenge facing our national security's efforts to monitor our adversaries is truly its diversity. Let me tell you what I mean. In 1990s, the late 1990s, throughout and before, there were only a handful of ways for people to communicate. And our intelligence community had well-practiced methods for monitoring that. As of 2000 and beyond, that changed. There are now innumerable amounts of ways for humans to communicate instantly, globally, and securely. And our adversaries know that. And they're using these things. Everything from the social media platforms, to email, so many different ways that our law enforcement and governments can't monitor. Those are the things that we need to look at as national leaders in addressing this challenge of keeping our nation safe.